Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone, this is Maryam and I'm absolutely delighted to have you here. It's finally December, my favorite time of the year, because I get to plan for the upcoming year, which is literally my favorite thing ever. Actually, I've been practicing journaling and planning for over 3 years now, and honestly it's the best habit I've ever developed in my life. And today I wanted to share with you guys the journal I create every single year to plan for the year ahead. This journal has completely transformed my entire life because it helps me set clear, achievable goals, and it keeps me on track with everything happening in my life. It also helps me stay aware of my interests, monitor what I consume, maintain my mental health, and just foster my personal growth overall. By the way, I usually make this journal in English, however this year I decided to make it in Japanese because I want Japanese to be my main focus for this year. Anyways, let's get started. So the very first prompt in this journal is Ima no watashi, or my present self. I actually make two versions of this prompt, one in the beginning of the year and the other one at the end of the year. And in both versions, I write down every single emotion I'm experiencing in the moment. I note my feelings, the things that are most important to me at the time, the things I'm looking forward to, my current interests. I also like to record my proficiency levels in each language that I'm learning, as well as my personal details such as my MBTI type, my height, my weight, etc. Next, you'll see a prompt called 自分の好きなところ, which means things I love about myself. And in this prompt, I like to write down the qualities that I appreciate about myself, both character-wise and appearance-wise, as well as strengths that are related to my professional life and career. So for example, some entries could be 楽観的, optimistic, 冒険心がある, adventurous, 建設的なフィードバックを求める心性, that I seek constructive feedback always. Other examples of personal strengths could include something like you're a good listener, that you can articulate your thoughts clearly, you can be highly creative or a fast learner, or you can have some athletic abilities. There are so many qualities that we may possess but don't always recognize or acknowledge in ourselves. For instance, I had that one friend that always used to tell me like, Maryam, I wish I were talented, I wish I were gifted like these people out there. And I used to tell her like, girl, you literally win every single race at school. Like, what do you mean you're not gifted, you're not talented? And she did not understand that. So please realize that you don't have to excel at singing, dancing, acting, or drawing, or other creative skills. You can be athletic as well. You can be a good listener and you can solve people's problems. So you'll be a great life coach, or you'll be a great therapist. Or you can be so good at arguing and defending people, just navigating yourself into like these kind of situations, so you'll be a great lawyer, for example. Just don't forget that there are many paths to success. Okay, next we have the prompt, 私を幸せになるもの, things that make me happy. And on this page, you basically write down everything that you can do when you feel burnt out, when you need motivation, or when you just want to reset your emotions because you're mentally tired. Write down even the smallest things, so it can be something like a cup of coffee, for example. And it could be going for a walk or something similar. Some examples of my journal include 計画を立てる, planning, 鍵編み, crochet. And by the way, crochet is literally one of the things that really clear one's mind because you need to count every single stitch that you're making, so you can't really think of anything else but the stitches you're making. I find this incredibly calming. So in this next prompt, you basically pretend that you're your own friend. Bear with me, it'll make sense in a moment. In this prompt, you speak to yourself as if you're talking to a friend and encouraging them to start the new year with a positive mindset. And it could be something like, you've overcome so many challenges this year, you're still standing, you're so strong, I'm so proud of you. Now this and that happened, and all of these experiences will help you achieve even more next year. So essentially, you're just giving yourself the encouragement and the reassurance you need. And this exercise is extremely valuable because it trains you to speak to yourself in a more supportive and positive tone. And self-talk is crucial for personal growth and personal improvement. So the next prompt is kind of similar to the last one, which is 今年の終わりにはどんな人になりたい? What type of person do you want to be by the end of this year? In this section, you write down every single detail about your future self. So describe the person you want to become by the end of the year with as much specificity as possible. What time do they wake up? What kind of food do they eat? How is their relationship with their family? How is their relationship with themselves? What have they achieved? What does their personal style look like? How do they articulate their thoughts? How do they speak? How do they move? Paint a full picture of the version of yourself you want to grow into. And here is a very important tip. Write everything in the present tense and not in the future. So write them down as if they're already your reality. I wake up early. I eat healthy. I am someone who doesn't smoke. I'm a person who loves their job. This helps your brain internalize it more effectively. This prompt basically helps you visualize your future self in a realistic, detailed, and intentional way, so you can align your daily actions with your ultimate goal. The next two prompts are related to the rules and boundaries I want to set for the year, both for my relationships and for myself. Some examples of the rules and boundaries I set for myself is to cut off disrespectful people, to avoid using slang because I want to sound more articulate and professional when I speak. As for friendship rules and boundaries, some examples can be, again, not being friends with disrespectful people, allowing only inspiring, creative, and ambitious people into my life, because I want to feel like I can keep improving and evolving when I'm with my friends, you know? I want friendships that inspire growth and not ones that hold me back and drain my energy. I'm naturally a person who's very selective with my friends, and I think having clear boundaries for yourself and your friendships is incredibly important when it comes to self-improvement. And you finally can write down the year's goals now. I'm actually making a video on how to set SMART goals, so stay tuned. Personally, I love to organize my goals into sections. So for example, a section for religion, university, languages, health, both mental and physical, professional life and career, and a section for the subjects I want to educate myself on more deeply. And yeah, that's basically it for the New Year's goals. I will definitely go into much more detail in the video dedicated to goal setting, so definitely wait for it. Next, I love to plan for each month, so I create a monthly plan starting from January all the way to June. Then after June, there is a prompt called Thoughts or Reflections on the first half of the year. Here, you simply write down a recap for the first 6 months of the year. What went right, what went wrong, what supported your growth, what held you back and kind of hindered you from achieving certain goals. Then I plan for each month again from July to December. Then there is another reflection prompt, but this time it's on the entire year. This process really helps you pause, reflect, and really think deeply about your year. And that also helps you acknowledge what went wrong and genuinely ask yourself why, with the intention of finding solutions and avoiding repeating the same mistakes in the future and not falling into self-sabotage. And then we have the lessons of the year. In this prompt, I love to use the Japanese educational method, Seikatsu Tsuzurikata. This method basically encourages you to observe your daily life and extract as many life lessons as possible. It serves as a personal reference, a place where you can learn something new about yourself or remind yourself not to repeat a mistake you've made before. Okay, so next we have the small wins of the year, and this is a section you're going to use throughout the year. In this section, you write down every single small win you accomplished throughout the year. And these small wins are the unexpected, unplanned improvements or achievements you've accomplished throughout the year and weren't part of the big plan of the year. So for example, some of my small wins for 2025 were that I've improved my handwriting. Another thing is becoming comfortable listening to Spanish podcasts. That was not expected at all because I was planning to stop learning Spanish even. So yeah, that's kind of weird. Some examples of small wins you might have is that you may start going on solo dates, which can feel super uncomfortable for so many people. You might get interested in a new skill that wasn't part of your plan, or you might pick up an old hobby you stopped doing years ago because you wanted to reconnect with your younger self. So that's a small win. Next we have the year's results. I actually took this from Ali Abdul. He talks about it a lot. You basically draw a circle and divide it into 3 big thirds, and each third is divided into 3 smaller sections. So we have 3 thirds: work, health, and relationships. The work third is divided into money, mission, and growth. The health one is divided into soul, mind, and body. Relationships section is divided into romance, family, friends. And then there is a separate section outside of the circle, which is joy. Every one of these sections equals 10 points. Growth is 10, money 10, mission 10, body 10, soul 10, and so on. So the total score is 100. So at the end of the year, you evaluate yourself in each section of these. You look at every area of them and you give yourself a score based on how well you've performed in that area. Doing this evaluation gives you a clearer vision of where your life is going and which aspect of your life you need to work on more. Okay, so next we have the 5-year plan. You know, when you get into a job interview and the interviewer asks you, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Honestly, this question has so much potential because the interviewer wants to see if you have a plan and structure for your life, or if you're just waking up every day deciding what to do next. And this plan gets updated every single year because we grow, learn new things, and get exposed to so many new ideas. So our goals and ways of thinking change a lot. And yeah, these are the only prompts I write in this journal. And the rest of the journal is just me writing down every single film, every single book, course, podcast I listen to, or everything I consume, because this helps me be aware of every single topic I get interested in like every single area of my life. And it also helps me analyze every type of content I consume and the effects that they have on me, because you are what you consume, and I'm a big believer in this. That's it for this video. Let me know if you're gonna make your own journal this year and update me on how it works for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you so much for being here, and see you later.